Hi everyone, how are you doing? It's a nice sunny afternoon. I have good lighting and I'm quite in a good mood, so I'm filming this video. In my previous video on my sustainability journey, I talked a little bit on how I got to minimalism and how overall I never was a big fan of material things, but I didn't mention one interesting thing about material things, which is clothes. Today I want to tell you about my journey in fashion, how I quit fast fashion, and what is my minimalist style, what I do with my clothes. My name is Ksenia, and if you're here, it means you are passionate about zero waste, minimalism, mental health, and sustainability. Thank you for joining me today. Please check out my earlier videos on my channel. Like, comment, let me know what topics are your favorite. Follow me on Instagram. I post very often there, share my stories. I share the view from my window, which is very nice, by the way. You know what? I will show you. How cool is that? It's a dirty window, but the view is nice. So when I was growing up, I was wearing a lot of secondhand clothes and I didn't mind it at all. When you're a kid, you don't really care about it that much. When I was a student, I got introduced to fast fashion, and for me, it wasn't really fast in a way that I couldn't really afford a lot, so I would just buy items there when I needed them. For example, if I needed a dress or if I needed a coat, I would just go to Zara or H&M and would buy there. I still have some dresses and some clothes that I bought back in the day, and they're still holding well. Just because there was such scarcity of clothes, I was brought up to mend it and to wash it well and take good care of it. So this could also be why I had these items for a long time. When I was studying abroad, I realized that it's a little bit different. So clothes was already not scarce at all. A lot of people were dressed very well, and there are people who are buying trends. And at some point, I was one of them as well. For the price of one item, I could buy a whole bag of items, and I think this is when I did some type of fast fashion shopping, but I soon realized that the material was not nice on my skin. Most of the time it's polyester, so I soon learned to check what the label says. Then I realized that the items don't wear as well, especially the one that has to withstand more wear, like socks or something you wash a lot, like t-shirts. So I realized, that's not very good, not very well made. I would see that it's sewn crookedly, so it's not made out of good material and it's not very well made. And I think then I was realizing also, shouldn't the price of the item include the price of material that it's made of, and the shipping and the rent of the department store? This all should be included, and it's still so cheap. How is this possible? And then at some point I realized it's because it's made very cheaply. It's because this item was made by a worker who got pennies, literally, so not even euros, but euro cents per item that was made, and it felt ridiculous. And when you realize it, you can't go back. You can't just pretend that you don't know this. then you have a moral dilemma every time you're buying something, because you're realizing that there is just an unfair price behind this. So it just doesn't make sense that the company who sells it makes 500% more money on the person that literally put this item together. So several years ago, in 2017, I decided to stop buying synthetic fabrics. They didn't feel good on my skin, and I was also starting to get concerned with the fact that this is not recyclable. So it was more of a personal choice, because I didn't like it, and I still I didn't refuse myself from buying leather shoes or wool sweaters, because I like the way they feel. I can't really wear vegan shoes because I have stinky feet or whatever. But I decided to start buying them secondhand. They're much cheaper that way, and I buy it usually from an individual or from a store that already flooded with other secondhand things. So the fact that I'm saving this item from being thrown away or from being destroyed, it feels better, even though an animal product was used to make this item. Just to make it clear, if you can't quit fast fashion for now, I just want to make sure you don't buy new things, you don't support these brands, and please just use what you already have. And the next part of the video will be dedicated on how to make the best out of your wardrobe and how to apply minimalism and sustainable approach to your wardrobe. All right, my Bluetooth headphones are empty, so now I'm going to use iPhone headphones. I hope the sound is good, or maybe even better. Sustainable fashion overall is something extremely tricky, because all the time in sustainability there is no black and white, there is no 100% solution for anything. And this is what I learned the hard way when after I stopped buying polyester and any kind of non-natural materials. I realized that even cotton is not that good for the environment, because it uses a lot of resources, including land, water, and human labor, and also it requires a lot of pesticides and bleach to be processed. So I realized, okay, so if I can't just buy all the natural products, what should I do? Is certified bio cotton enough? It has to be also fair trade cotton, it has to be non-chemically dyed cotton. The item still made out of cotton still has to be produced fairly, and the workers should be paid fairly. So it's a big issue, and for me personally, I think the number one thing you can do if you already have a big wardrobe is not consume more, not make more items that are thrown away. So not consume fast fashion, or just overall understand and realize what you have. Make sure you make the best out of your wardrobe. Number two thing you can do is support sustainable brands. The items made by sustainable brands are more expensive because the workers are paid what they are supposed to, but they don't have to be super expensive. It depends on the item, of course. So I would say it would be fishy if the jeans claim to be sustainable are less than 200 euros, because this is a very labor and resource intensive product. But maybe socks and t-shirts, underwear, can be under 50 euros. So I will share the list of high to low price range sustainable brands, also size inclusive brands, and I will try to share some brands that are owned by Black people to show my support to Black business owners as well. The Holy Grail, the Holy Bible in this for me is the goodonyou.eco. This is a website, a platform, and an app that actually does research, does audit on the brands, does research on what they disclose, what they do for the environment, for people, and for the animals. So if you're vegan, you might want to consider brands that are very high on the animal scale or very high on the environment scale. Overall, I would highly encourage to support the brands that are at least rated as good and great. Some of the brands I can just name from the top of my dome. Not sponsored, by the way. Organic Basics and People Tree, Veja. Organic Basics and People Tree, they make underwear and t-shirts and stuff like that. Veja is shoes brand. Stella McCartney. It's a higher range brand. For Europe, for example, for Benelux, I have a very, very extensive list. For example, Unrob, the Armed Angels, Mud Jeans, so a lot of vendors. I haven't tried them all because I have a very small wardrobe. I really, really recommend them, and this is also verified by other creators and by the website goodonyou.eco. Thank you for watching this video. This is part 1 of the sustainable fashion series. I'm going to make another video about my style and my journey in fashion overall. So please stay tuned, like this video, subscribe, and I'm going to see you next week.